warm welcome. You're watching Viewpoint with me, Grihatul Siddiqui. The Prime Minister today hit out at the opposition that is attempting to forge a united front. Prime Minister Modi went on to say that he sees a nervousness in the opposition camp that's never been seen, whether it is during the 2014 elections or the 2019 elections. And that, he feels, indicates the resolve of the public to vote for the BJP in 2024. Modi further levelled several allegations of corruption against the opposition parties who had convened at Patna meeting last week. And while at that, he also made a fervent plea for the Uniform Civil Code and criticised those supporting triple talaq. Now, in the same breath, he also spoke about the development of Pasmanda Muslims, another important vote bank that he intends to woo from amongst the minorities by dividing a group that has traditionally voted against the BJP. However, even as the Prime Minister says that the lives of Pasmanda Muslims have been made hellish by those who do vote bank politics, shouldn't it also be seen as an attempt by the Bharatiya Janata Party to relaunch their Ghar Wapsi pitch ahead of 2024 general elections using Pasmandas as baits? Although as far as the opposition unity is concerned, the point to remember is that the BJP grouping occupying the treasury benches for too long has sparked a natural scramble for opposition unity because its fragmentation was one of the crucial factors making the Bharatiya Janata Party a clear winner in the first place. So it is important for the opposition parties to show that they are united in their fight for this one common goal, that is to defeat the BJP, keeping their individual ambitions aside. Otherwise, attacks by the Bharatiya Janata Party, this time by the Prime Minister himself, and the routine trigger of a third front posturing. All of this will always be waiting to dent into this show of opposition strength.
कुछ दिन पहले इनकी एक फोटो ऑप कार्यक्रम हुआ था, मिलकर के फोटो निकालने का एक कार्यक्रम हुआ था। इस बैठक में शामिल दलों के इतिहास को देखेंगे तो पता चलेगा, तो ये सारे मिलकर के कम से कम 20 लाख करोड़ के घोटाले की गारंटी है।
Prime Minister has only one process he is doing to make washing machine. All the corrupt people are with him only, Prime Minister only.
नरेंद्र मोदी जी का पैनिक रिएक्शन हो रहा है, ये पैनिक रिएक्शन, ये जो ऑपोजिशन वालों को जो फ्रंट हो रहा है, पटना मीटिंग सक्सेसफुल हुआ है, शिमला में मीटिंग होने वाला है।
परिवारवाद की परिभाषा इन लोग अपने अनुसार करते हैं, जो भी मामले हैं ये सबको पता है, वेंडेटा पॉलिटिक्स के तहत किए जा रहे हैं।
Those BJP leaders must once again bring out that meter, highlight the scams of those leaders that are part of the Eknath Shinde group, and tell the world that who the real scamsters are.
We are sure if people come together, transcending political parties and political differences, people can defeat RSS-led BJP.
Now, before I bring my guests on the broadcast, let's first take a look at what are the sticking points when it is about this opposition unity. Let's break them down one by one. Why are we calling this chinks in the opposition armor? Now, when it is about the prime ministerial phase, there is no leader to counter Modi's popularity. That is one crucial aspect that the opposition parties have not been able to deal with. Whether it is Rahul Gandhi, who's now been disqualified, also remains a big question. Secondly, this is what they are not willing to address at the moment. That is the disqualification of Rahul Gandhi, which actually renders him not being able to contest elections for the next 8 years, unless and until he gets a stay on his conviction by a higher court. So Mamata Banerjee, KCR and Uddhav have reservation with this particular factor. If we go further, lack of vision is another cause of concern for the opposition unity. Except Modi Hatao, there is no common agenda. Even if they go ahead and hobnob in Patna, they talk about the wrestlers issue, they talk about the farmers' protest, but there is no common goal that they are fighting against. They blanket talk about the rise of prices. They also talk about the fuel price hike and, for that matter, unemployment. But that as well has not been able to consolidate into one common goal when it is about fighting the Bharatiya Janata Party. Next up is the internal contradiction, national unity versus state-level fights. We've seen this, whether it is the national capital, whether it is West Bengal, or for that matter Kerala. The infighting when it is about the Congress at the centre, or Aam Aadmi Party, or the TMC, or even the CPIM, that's pretty much out in the open. Diverse ideologies, no common minimum program that has been fixed yet, which is a must-do for any kind of opposition unity and an alliance to come together. They need to have a minimum program, minimum agenda that they need to bring forth. That has not really happened when it is about the opposition unity. And last but not the least, it is the ordinance row that refuses to die down. Even in the face of the June 23rd opposition unity mega meet in Patna, Aam Aadmi Party and Congress were not able to see eye to eye on all of this because of the centre's control over services in the national capital and Congress not giving a nod to the ordinance issue that Aam Aadmi Party wants it to support, and because of which the photo opportunity had no Aam Aadmi Party in it. So that becomes another crucial aspect. Whether they'll be able to skirt through all of these issues remains the big question. Let me actually open the debate now. Neeti Jain of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Dolly Sharma of the Congress Party, and also CA Pradeep Bhati of the Samajwadi Party is with us. We'll, of course, also be having Dr. Fawad Halim, who is from the CPIM, and he'll be joining us shortly. Let me actually start with Dolly Sharma first. Dolly, since the Congress is at the center of this entire opposition unity that one talks about, and the Prime Minister has launched a tirade against it, he's in fact barfing at this photo opportunity that was not even proper, that happened out of Patna. How does the Congress respond to it?
See, Prime Minister every day comes up with all such things because he has nothing to deliver to the people of this nation. They are failed in giving employment to the youth. They are failed in controlling the price rises. They are failed in each and every aspect. And recently, what they've seen in Karnataka, they will see this happening in the entire country because people of India now needs delivery. They don't need jumlas. Enough of jumlas in this country now. They want change. And you will see in Telangana yesterday, so many leaders joined Congress Party. And this will go further. This will not reduce. This will go further. Now, because of this, everything happening, I don't know why they're doing such dramatic, they're commenting such way, giving such dramatic comments. So BJP is like that only. They are not able to deliver in any single field. So they can only give this nation jumlas, and people are now fed up of these jumlas.
Okay.
So people are looking towards change, and we will bring change.
All right, Neeti Jain wants to respond to the allegations that Congress is levelling at the BJP. Yes, Neeti.
So honestly, I feel like for the past few days, every time you ask the Congress about whatever they're trying to do, they land into a rhetoric, but they never answer the questions. And madam, if you just look around and look beyond Rahul Gandhi and the meetings, the photo ops that you're having, if you look at the global scenario and you look at India, I think we're faring fairly well on the world stage. And if you look at the kind of response that we've gotten on an international stage, I think you'll stop criticizing what the country is doing and delivering and stop with your rhetoric for once. The second point being the photo op that is happening and the question that you originally asked. I think the only common minimum program that the entire opposition together is coming forward with is dynasty and the corruption of the dynasty, and to save that. Except for that, I don't think we've heard anything from these parties on a common ground. And since 23rd till today, I think 4 days, we've had a number of opposition parties that have gone against each other on the state level. And if you take it down a notch further on the panchayat level or the booth level, the people who have been opposing each other for eons together, you're asking them to come together. So what is the plan? What is the agenda? Who is going to lead? And so all of those questions that you asked, I'm not going to repeat that. But again, the point being what Modi ji said today, that the only common minimum program that these people are operating on is dynasty and saving the corruption of that dynasty and to save their own existence.
Okay.
And that is what you're working on. Just look beyond Rahul Gandhi and look at what the government has delivered, and that is what needs to be done by
All right.
the
Neeti, I'll
entire
come to the common
opposition
minimum
together.
program in just a bit. Dr. Fawad Halim is also with us on the broadcast now. Dr. Halim, let me actually bring you in on this. Considering we are talking about an opposition unity, what had happened in Kerala today, it also speaks about a feud that is brewing between the CPIM and the Congress when it is about the state politics. How do both these parties, in fact, not just the CPIM, plan to distance themselves from this feuding on a state level and then claim unity on a national level?
Well, if you look at the landscape of opposition politics in India, then you will have to understand that during the time of the VP Singh government, you had the BJP support VP Singh and you had the left support the VP Singh government. We jointly, what you call, ran the government. But during the elections, the CPM fought the BJP in every seat that they could. And in 100 seats, we fought against the BJP. And then you had the VP Singh government. If you look at the successive governments that have taken place, you've seen that you had pre-poll, what you call, fights amongst various partners. And then when the situation came about, the Lok Sabha numbers came about, you had an understanding. And one has to keep in mind that this has not been only what you call reminiscence of the left or the progressive or the social justice parties that have formed governments at the center, but this is also extended to the NDA. The first NDA was not a pre-poll alliance, it was a post-poll alliance. So one has to keep in mind that the difference this time is that 1 year before the elections, you've got a number of the opposition political parties come together. You've got tremendous wind in the sails. We've seen a massacre of the BJP and their allies in NDA in Punjab. We've seen a rout of the BJP and their allies in Himachal. We've seen a wipeout of the BJP in Karnataka. You know, this is the build-up to the opposition unity that is coming about. But I'm not going to mince my words. I know what question you want to know.
Yes.
Let me be very categorical. In Kerala, the CPM is going to fight the Congress in the ensuing Lok Sabha elections. In West Bengal, we are going to have a joint what you call program with the Congress at the Panchayat level, at the Lok Sabha level, and also at the Vidhan Sabha level, along with certain other allies of here. Over here, we will be fighting primarily against the Trinamool Congress. Now, one has to keep in mind, despite these state-level differences, there is going to be a coming together of like-minded political organizations at the national level. We are very clear about it.
But Dr. Halim, how? I fail to understand that. Let's say, as a voter, isn't it going to confuse the voters who are voting at an assembly election and then going on to vote for the general elections? And that's what the BJP's claim is, that people vote differently. And that's why the victory of Karnataka and Himachal Pradesh cannot really, cast aspersions at the BJP. And they are clearly claiming that they are going on to win the general elections. If this is the kind of feuding and sparring that will continue at a state level, how will you even claim to have a unity at the national level? I'll go back to the same question. And you talk about the opposition unity or the third front. It has happened in 2019. It has happened in 2018 after the Karnataka elections. What happened to that? Everybody knows.
Well, one has to understand very clearly in Kerala, if we take it as a case study, then over there, the Congress and the left, they form successive governments and they become strong and then they become weak according to the situation over there. Now, over there, if the left and the Congress ally, the entire opposition space will be left for the BJP. The BJP is the distant political third and fourth in most of the constituencies in Kerala. And it would be ludicrous for the left and the Congress to come together at an understanding and allow the entire opposition space to the BJP. It's going to benefit the BJP who doesn't have anything over there. It'll be like giving a political space to the BJP in Kerala. And I think so that's not, you can't expand the Kerala situation to the all India level. But that's the reality of Kerala. Neither the Congress wants to give the opposition space to the BJP, nor do we want the BJP to grow up there. Let them be in the third and fourth place. And that's what's going to happen in Kerala.
In that case, the Congress needs to take a backseat where it doesn't have a strong support base. And let me actually no. Let me bring in Mr. Bhati. Pradeep Bhati has been patiently listening.
Or the left takes a backseat in Kerala, that space is going to be exploited by the BJP, and no sensible person in Kerala wants his options to be within the.
But my question to you, Dr. Halim, is the fact that if Congress and the CPM fight against one another, the alliance, we are just stepping aside from it. Don't you think that also is going to act as a vote cutter against the Congress and the CPM and favor the BJP?
That's going to have a varied political situation. In Kerala, we are going to have a different political state reality, which will be addressed politically. In Bengal, we are going to have a different state reality, which will be addressed politically over here, vis-a-vis the Congress and vis-a-vis the Trinamool Congress also.
All right, let me now bring in Pradeep Bhati. All right, Dr. Halim, let me bring in Pradeep Bhati. Pradeep, the fact that Samajwadi Party has a stronghold in Uttar Pradesh, we are now also looking at whether the opposition, this entire opposition unity can put aside the BJP stronghold in UP. But that can only happen if the Congress, Samajwadi Party and the other oppositions actually get together and the entire division of votes really is avoided. How and what are you doing to work towards that?
Hi, good evening to all. Firstly, I want to, I'll answer your question later. Firstly, I want to say Niti from BJP was talking mostly about dynasty politics and the Great Alliance. So I want to ask them that what about the Shiv Sena, Akalis and now Comrade Sangma, when they are with the alliance, what about these things? Their thoughts changes every kilometer. So you can't believe in their ideology and their thoughts, they keep on changing. Secondly, about the alliance she was talking about, alliance and coalitions are the part of political journey of every party. So BJP has claimed in 2019 that they have alliance of 42 partners. And till now, they have almost like 31 parties, BJP, they have left BJP or the BJP left them. So these kind of alliances and coalition keep on happening. This is not new. The most important part from these alliance is more than that is that these oppositions are also the public representative, which is not just the parties getting united. It's also the people who are against the BJP government and they are uniting. And this manipulation, propagandas, and these fake lies and all are getting are now there in the public domain, and people are realizing what about the 10 crores employment that was promised, what about the 100 smart cities, what about the Pakka Ghars, and what about the doubling of the income by 2020 of farmers. So these all issues are important. Apart from that, the cleaning of river Yamuna, because see, with drinking water by as per the World Bank report, 2050 there will be crisis of water. So what about the cleaning of rivers? That corruption that has happened, BJP has already claimed that in coming years we will be cleaning all Yamuna, and a lot of corruption has happened. Inflation, see what is the price going on right now. GDP in real terms is growing at 4.5%, and they are talking about all everything apart from the basic things which the government was supposed to do. And these all issues, these all things won't survive BJP in 2024. Apart from that, there are certain other things which BJP can claim about the what they have done with the 3 laws they have brought, where the farmers, more than 700-800 farmers died. And these kind of things has happened in the past. 2,300 crores were spent just on the which was supposed to be spent on the education and the education and the health of the people. It was spent on the face. It was spent on the
I got your point.
So
the point that you're making, Aditi, I'll come to you in just a second. Is all of this going to be a part of this common minimum program that is a must put out by this the show of strength that you guys are talking about? Where is that becomes the big question? That was the question that the BJP guest also asked, and we do not yet have an answer to that. We can't keep waiting for another meeting that will happen in Shimla, in Himachal Pradesh, and then we will actually decide. Right now, what really came out of the Patna meeting was that the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party were not able to see eye to eye over the ordinance issue. Nobody was really talking about what was the agenda that was discussed as far as the opposition unity is concerned, or for that matter, all of these issues that you've raised, whether it's unemployment, fuel price rise, or for that matter, other aspects that you've just spoken about, farmers' issue for that matter. All of that took a backseat just because of that brazening out as far as the photo opportunity is concerned between Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress.
Yeah, see, this is not very important that who is there in the Photoshop, because we are not the party who is believe in all selfie culture. But what is important is...
Well, you know what I mean.
One or two.
That's the only thing people are talking about.
See, it is not important how many people are getting united. Understand why they are getting united. And these, for the people of this country, this is important. It is not important that whether Mr. Kejriwal was there in the Photoshop or the other partners, their alliance partner was there in that.
But at least it's important on whether they are together or not. They are clearly not together.
No, this is not the case. See, every coalition takes some time in growing, because we are coming from different... we have some differences also. We are not shying away from that. There are few differences, but why we are coming, that is more important, and for whom we are coming together, that is more important. That
Dolly
Singh is trying to show.
The biggest allegation against the Congress party is that the Congress party.
Give me time.
I will just come to you, Neeti, in just a second. Let me take one more question with the Congress party. The allegation, Dolly, against the Congress party is that they are not ready to actually leave any sort of room or space for the Aam Aadmi Party to fill in. That is the kind of mistrust that they have between the two parties. How is the Congress, or for that matter, the Aam Aadmi Party, of course you can't speak on behalf of them, planning to actually bridge that huge gap?
As you've seen the discussion that day as well, Kharge ji, our Congress president, told very clearly that day also that we will think upon it, let the time come. But on the go, I would like to say this as well, that Aam Aadmi Party will also have to take a stand. They will have to stick to what they say. Previously, they were saying something else. Then they blamed Congress for something else. So now also, as I said, our Congress president clearly said on the day of the meeting also, that we will think upon it and we will decide, and we will let the media and everybody know, the entire country know what is our decision on the ordinance also.
Okay. All right, Neeti Jain, we just heard all the opposition parties, at least some of the representatives, bring out their point. Still no answer on the common minimum program. But I'd like to actually begin by asking you one question. Why did Prime Minister Narendra Modi, while he sounded this poll bugle in the state of Madhya Pradesh, have to go after the opposition? There were other big issues that actually concern the nation that he could have spoken about first, which he's refrained to as of now, be it Manipur for that matter. Let's start with that.
Okay, so first of all, Griha, I think I'll just answer the Samajwadi Party person. First of all, dynasty सुन के आपको बुरा लगेगा, मुझे समझ आता है. I don't blame you for that. The other point being alliance. So let me finish. I heard you very silently.
Mr. Bharti, let her make a point.
The second point is, I don't have, or anybody has a problem with forming alliance and coalitions. The point is, what are you getting together for? That is the problem. And you are only getting together to survive amongst the political circle, to save yourself from corruption and to save your dynasties from the corruptions that they have gone into. The third point being that this was a program.
Question. Can she answer me about the 227?
Dolly, you got your time. Dolly, you got your time.
The question which you were asked, I am coming to it. I am coming to it. This was an event which was a BJP party booth level event. So the address was about that. The address was to the party men. And the issues that you're talking about are being taken care of on the level that they have to be taken care of. You cannot come and talk about the issues that you are talking about to the booth level karyakarta that this event was for. So I think the platform matters where he was talking. So you cannot question the address that he has made to the booth level party karyakarta and question the relevance of the address that he has made today. The third point, the last point, I think, being that every question that you've asked, all of these parties, I think the entire country is kind of confused about this coalition alliance coming together, and that is what the Prime Minister has raised a point, that the only reason that you're coming together is that you've indulged in corruption, and now that you've been calling out on it, you have issues and you're doing all of these photo ops. You don't know if you're together in the state, you're together in the Lok Sabha, you're not together in the Lok Sabha, and all of those vice versa. That is for you to decide and not for me to help you out with
your
that.
BJP MLAs are sitting
on
dharnas.
All right, let me,
all others corruption.
Mr. Bhatti, I'll go to that. I'll go to the commercial bit. I'll go to the corruption bit. But tell me something, Neeti. The fact that when you say that this was an address to the booth level workers, the Prime Minister in that address has spoken about everything that concerns vote bank politics, everything that concerns the BJP manifesto ahead of 2024 elections, whether it is the Uniform Civil Code, he's mentioned the triple talaq, the criminalization of instant triple talaq. He's also, I beg your pardon, he's also spoken about the betterment of Pasmanda Muslims. This is another vote bank that the BJP plans on appeasing. How do you actually distance those statements that have been made in that very booth level workers address while he's talking about all of that?
I'll tell you.
1 second, let her respond. Let her respond.
Can I add one question to that?
1 second.
This was a question for me. Let me respond. Yeah. All of the things that our manifesto speaks is what our booth level karyakarta, who is going to take it to the people of their booth or the state. So he is supposed to talk about our manifesto. He is supposed to talk about the vision that we have for the country, because our vision is not limited to saving the corrupt. Our vision is a lot more than that. And if you look at the global front, again, was something that the Samajwadi Party person was saying.
Question I have.
If you look at the global scenario, India is faring very much better than what the global scenario looks like today, including the Western countries and much of the world.
How much of the opposition? 1 second, Mr. Bhatti, I'll come to you. Okay. All right. Yes, Mr. Bhatti, please go ahead. Mr. Bhatti, your question. 1 second, Dolly. Let him make a point. Yes.
She is talking all about corruption and all. What about the 2022 election campaign by BJP wholly on dynasty politics and corruption of comrades Sangma? And just they got 2 seats, and they were the first one to render the support to the party, to the Congress party.
Your
so
corruption? Why don't you talk about your dynasty? Why are you getting into what about
corruption has gone? Where the
why don't you tell me what is your common program of this photo op that you are doing?
Neeti, that's an interesting point. 1 second, Neeti, that's an interesting point. However, the other aspect of this entire conversation is the political blame game that is going to be, continuing back and forth, whether it is from the BJP side or the Congress side. But I'd like to understand one simple question. When you talk about the BJP's manifesto, the Karyakartas who are going to forward the plans of the Bharatiya Janata Party ahead of 2024 elections, where does the opposition come in that manifesto? Why the 110 minutes of speech were actually reserved for attacking the opposition? That continues to be the big question. That means that there is some sort of importance that the BJP and the Prime Minister is actually rendering on the opposition meet. That means he sees some sort of go-ahead when it comes to this grand alliance of the opposition parties.
Griha, see, politically, if there is a question that has been being framed, it has to be answered. If this photo op, it is, like I said, for the booth karyakarta, for the last man standing, for us who is going to travel to the people of their own booth level, they need to understand what is happening on the national level, and who better than the Prime Minister to explain it to them.
All right.
The importance
you already said that. All right. Let me actually bring in Dr. Halim. All right. 1 second, Mr. Bhatti, 1 second.
Understand what is being said.
Mr. Bhatti,
Go and take it to the last man standing there.
I got your point. You have already said that.
Rooms and deciding our...
That's what Prime Minister Narendra Modi also said, but don't you think the Bharat Jodo Yatra was away from the air-conditioned rooms? If that is an attack on the opposition, that was a clear answer also. But Dr. Halim, let me bring you in here. The kind of, interjections and the responses that the BJP is giving on the Prime Minister's speech today, where do you actually see that going when it is about his address to the booth level workers, and then also talking about the Uniform Civil Code, talking about the criminalization of instant triple talaq, and also talking about the Pasmanda Muslims? Where do you see these statements?
Well, it's very clear that the 9 years that Narendra Modi has spent governing India he doesn't have anything concrete to show in terms of employment, in terms of development, in terms of social justice. So if the Bharatiya Janata Party is going to kick off its campaign with this, what you call, conversation that Narendra Modi has made, I think so. There is really a great degree of poverty in the thought that is actually prevailing in the BJP at this point of time. You know, they're not putting forward performance issues. 9 years is a long time, and what has performance done for the people of India? So I think so. Already the Bharatiya Janata Party is on the back foot. Number one. Number two, you know, they're beating the horse that's just been rejected. You know, Narendra Modi had given this entire conversation during his entire Karnataka election, what you call, campaign, that corruption, but the people identified the Bharatiya Janata Party with corruption, and they are the ones who are actually hand in glove with all the corrupt people, and they got a resounding rebuff in Karnataka in the last elections. So if he's going to repeat the same thing, you talk about dynastic politics, where the BJP and its allies are what got filled with dynasties. If he's going to talk about corruption, of which the BJP and its allies are ridden with, I think so that's not going to cut any ice. And I think so the Bharatiya Janata Party high echelons have realized that the coming together of the opposition is significant, because the opposition coalition that is actually stitching itself together is making a primary agenda that they're going to meet every month. They're going to sort out differences. They're going to ensure that whatever little friction and problems that are there, if there are differences within the opposition ranks, then those opposition rank differences at the state and lower level will not be reflected at the national level. I think so the maturity of the opposition, especially in the conversations that have come about, which circulated in Patna, is something that has rattled the Bharatiya Janata Party, and this reaction of the BJP is already giving me a sense that Narendra Modi is seeing that the fight in 2024 is not going to be a very easy fight. It's not going to be a cakewalk. They have lost a number of
All right,
states.
quick point, Mr. Bhati, then I'll go to the Congress. Last word to the Congress party. Mr. Bhati.
Level are going to look at a viable opposition.
BJP is talking again a lot about the corruption. What about the corruption that 30,000 crore rupees in a single year it has been gone to the Swiss bank? What about that corruption? They should also talk about that corruption. What about the Hindenburg corruption?
Sir, why don't you talk about your corruption? What is this whataboutery? ये क्यों नहीं कर रहे, वो क्यों नहीं कर रहे? अपना बताओ ना, आप क्या कर रहे हो?
Which corruption you are talking about?
अपना बताओ ना, sir. When you had your why was the entire Samajwadi Party into gundagiri that was happening in UP? Why is it that you did no work?
All right, like I said, this will go about in circles when it is about the corruption point. But
gundas in the UP,
okay,
you answer those questions, na. If you're getting into whataboutery, I can bring the same questions. You're not answering the question.
All right, Neeti, you'd have to actually hold your horses there, and also Mr. Bhati. Mr. Bhati, I gave you 1 point. Let actually no, 1 second, Mr. Bhati. That's okay. You got your point and you got your time. Let Dolly come in. Dolly, we are going back to the same question of a common minimum program, an agenda that comes at the meeting. How much of the people who will in fact be looking to support this opposition alliance will have to wait for that? And the other aspect is that all of these leaders in the opposition parties are prospective prime ministerial nominees and faces. They want to actually get that PM's chair. When will you decide on that? That also is another chink in your armor. Do you think all of these agendas you'd be able to skirt with and then come up with that common minimum program that's much required ahead of this unity?
See, the agendas are set, and the second meeting is happening soon in Himachal Pradesh, Shimla, around 10th or 12th of July. So all the opposition parties coming together will sit and decide. There are no, such issues. But I would like to bring in one question here again, that it is 75 plus days and Manipur is burning. When the Prime Minister will come and speak, utter one...
This will digress the debate. I've already asked her this question. Let us leave it at that. Let's leave it at that. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining me. That's all the time that I had on this particular debate. We'd have to leave it at that, and we'll have to, of course, wait for what happens in Shimla in Himachal Pradesh when the second round of this opposition meeting really happens. And until then, if the opposition parties refuse to behave on a state level, then these sort of attacks, which has just happened by the Prime Minister of the country against this opposition unity in this mega show of strength, accusing this photo opportunity as a farce will continue to happen. We're slipping into a very, very short break with that. But up next, West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has sparked a political firestorm after accusing the border security force of voter intimidation. The BJP has also hit back, accusing Mamata Banerjee of attacking the border force for cracking down on smuggling by her party leaders. This war is only escalating ahead of the Panchayat polls. We'll tell you all about that after a very short break.